This is Alfa Romeo's first ever SUV, and it's called the Stelvio. It is named after a challenging, twisty mountain pass, which funny enough is on the way to Germany from northern Italy. Kind of like the path this car wants to go. It is aiming straight at the German competition, mainly the BMW X3, Porsche Macan, and Audi Q5, as it's focused more on the sport part of things rather than utility. Prices start at $51,845. The TI Sport, which we have here, is $56,345, but as tested, it's about 10 grand more. Price-wise, that brings it super close to the base Macan, so some food for thought there. Some of you are going to argue that, this one has more power, but is that by itself enough to make this thing better? Italian cars are supposed to be fun, exciting, make great noises, win you over with their beautiful imperfections, just like the Alfa Romeo 4C. But with the Giulia and the Stelvio, it seems to be the complete opposite. They are very well done vehicles, but rather boring. In November 2007, Top Gear's James May reviewed the Alfa 159, and in that review, he had to pay £1 every time he used an Italian car review cliche word like soul or emotion or passion. That review cost him quite a pretty penny, but I'll tell you what, if he was here today, he wouldn't have that problem. The Stelvio is kind of like going out on a date with Monica Bellucci, only she shows up wearing a black trench coat from The Matrix, and she doesn't really feel like talking to you either. And that's the biggest complaint I have about this car. It's a good car, but it doesn't really seem to go under my skin and push those goosebumps up. It does look very, very nice. It's for sure one of the better looking SUVs. Inside, the materials used are above average, but still not a match for the Germans. Fit and finish could be better for the price point, sound deadening as well. The design language is modern, and I do love the start button on the flat bottom steering wheel with its little witty accents. I also love the race-inspired fixed column-mounted paddle shifters. The infotainment system is good and quick, but the sound system isn't as good as it should be. Roominess is kind of deceiving. It looks cramped, but it's actually pretty roomy. Everything seems a bit tilted backwards, which looks odd, but in practice it works just fine. The front seats are really good and support the body very well, but the driving position is a bit too upright, too utilitarian. I feel a bit too close to the wheel. Visibility is okay, but you will need to set your mirrors a bit wider than normal to compensate for the thick rear pillars. The rear seats have plenty of headroom and legroom, while the trunk is very large. At 525 liters, it will fit enough pizza boxes to feed a whole mob gang. The Stelvio, with its carbon fiber driveshaft and extensive use of aluminum, weighs 1.8 tons, but that doesn't really seem to slow it down thanks to the 280 horsepower and 306 pound-feet of torque coming from the 2.0-liter turbo engine. It is mated to a very quick 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, and it can hit 100 kilometers an hour in 5.4 seconds. The only problem really is that it sounds like shit. I even found some sound clips from a Stelvio with a sports exhaust, like aftermarket stuff, and it still sounded like shit. So there's absolutely no hope there. The Q4 all-wheel drive system is really good. It's rear biased, but it can send up to 50% of the power to the front wheels if it needs to. The torque vectoring control, you can really feel it do its thing, but unfortunately you cannot fully switch off the stability control. The brakes are electronically controlled, so they're by wire, which means the pedal has no dead zones, but it feels like it's completely dead. There's no feeling to the pedal, so it makes getting used to the brakes really difficult. The steering, on the other hand, is razor sharp. It's super quick with 2.1 turns lock to lock, and it definitely doesn't feel like you're handling a tranquilized lion. In an attempt to simulate the exciting pedigree of old Alphas, it feels like they gave it zero toe in to make it slightly twitchy. Just enough for you to call it involving, but in the straights, that translates to slight need for constant corrections. Handling is 100% sporty. In the turns, it remains quite flat and does grip very well. But as you're approaching its limits and the smile is about to get bigger, the stability control kicks in and wipes it off your face. At least if you take it out of dynamic and you set it back to natural, it gets softer, smoother, and comfortable enough. It's also pretty good on gas, as it's easy to average around 11 liters per 100 kilometers. At the end of the day, the Stelvio is a really nice car, but it's just not really exciting. It won't be creating any new Alfistis, and that is a problem. I wanted a stupid car with the ability to make my heart skip a beat, but it's more like a sensibly packaged crossover with a sport treatment, just like all its rivals. It is good, but it's not that different, and for that reason, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.